Hey guys, welcome to my tutorial on how to crochet a worry worm. It's St. Patrick's Day over here, and I'm so delighted to welcome you all. For the day that's in it, I'm going to do my worry worm in a green. I have had a few comments on one of the tutorials I did that you couldn't actually hear me, so I hope you can now. For this tutorial, you're going to need, I'm using a 4.5mm hook. I also have scissors, googly eyes that you can get in a packet. They're like this. These are 10mm googly eyes. You're going to need your darning needle. I use one that has a large eye in it, and that is fairly blunt at the end, so you don't actually stab yourself. Obviously I'm using a double knit, which is a Patton's double knit. It's a lovely quality wool, and it actually makes the worry worms look much firmer. And also I have my reliable stitch marker in case you finish your project or you want to go off and do something in the middle of doing your project, and your scissors. For this now, I'm going to start off doing a magic ring. So I put the yarn into my hand, hold it at the side, wrap it around my fingers, cross over and hold it gently, and I catch it in between my ring finger and my baby finger. Now I don't hold it very tight, I hold it loosely. I hold my hook side down, so I put the hook underneath so I can actually grab the wool, bring the wool to the front, twist it, and then I go back in, I grab the wool under my finger and bring it through, and this actually helps to secure it into place. Then I switch obviously my wool to the side that I'm going to crochet with. You always leave your two strands that you have just made the magic ring, you always have them to the left hand side of your work, because you're going to work around this. If you have them on the opposite side, you won't be able to pull the ring closed. So I'm actually only going to do 2 chain here, because if I do 3, you've already done 1 here. If you do 3 more, it'll actually make you look, you'll actually have a loop at the top. So I'm going to do 2 chain. So that's the first 2 chains. So that's your first treble, and I'm going to do 12 trebles around the ring. So that's yarn over. Underneath, you have your both yarns here. Yarn over, bring it through. Yarn over, bring it through 2. Yarn over, bring it through 2. So you can see that you have your 2 here. Now don't do what I just did there and crochet over what you have just done, because it actually makes it more difficult. So yarn over into the magic ring, yarn over, bring it through, yarn over, bring it through 2, yarn over, bring it through 2. Okay, so you're going to do that sum total of 12. So I'll just continue on around till I get to 12. So many have I got there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oops, have to get some more wool out here. 12. So at this stage, what I do is I take my small piece of yarn that I had that was attached to the magic ring. I'm going to hold my work here. Don't hold it tight, and you're just going to pull it so that it actually closes the ring. So pull it as tight as you can. It's not going to actually break unless you have very, very weak wool. So what I like to do here is I put my hook and I slide it up the top. Now I don't go into the top of the first 3 chain that you've done, or the 2 chain you've done. I go into the next one and I insert my hook into the top of the chain. So yarn over, you're just doing a slip stitch. A slip stitch is literally just used to close your work or to bring you from point A to point B. Now you can pull this afterwards, don't worry about the one that's at the back. The reason I like to go into the next one is you don't have a gap. Sometimes if you do your 3 chain up and you slip stitch into the top of the 3 chain, you have a little bit of a gap and you can see it. So from here, I'm going to do a chain of 25. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Okay, so from the second chain here, so that's the first one from your hook. So you're going to go into the top of the next one. So what I want you to do from here on in is you're going to put yarn over and you're going to do half trebles. So into the top of the second chain from the hook, insert the hook, yarn over, bring it through, then yarn over and bring it through all 3. So that's like 2 you've done already, because that you've gone into the second chain from the hook. That's your first half treble. Yarn over into the same chain space, insert the hook, yarn over, bring it through, yarn over and bring it through all 3. Now I would class that as my first 3 half trebles. So into every single chain right the way along, you are going to do 3 half trebles into each chain space. So that's 3 half trebles into every chain space all the way along. And when you get to the top, which will take me a minute or 2, that's 1, 2, 3. So let me get some more wool here. Into the next one, you're going to do your half trebles, and you can see already that your worry worm is starting to curl. Now if you wanted your worry worm to be shorter or to be springier, you would do 4 half trebles or 5 half trebles into each. The more half trebles you do into each chain, the shorter your worry worm will be, and the springier it will be. Now, if you can also do a worry worm with trebles, but the only thing about using trebles is, for the head, you'd really need to do a double treble into your magic ring if you wanted to do a bigger one. Now, obviously, depending on the yarn you're using, if you're using a chenille and you make this pattern, it'll actually be a very big worry worm, and the chunkier your wool, the larger your worry worm. Okay, just checking there to make sure I had 3 half trebles in my chain space. So still have a few more to go. One, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I just need to grab some more wool, yarn, and then we're going to go 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. We have a few more to go. The bottom that you're using here for the 3 half trebles into each chain space, this is actually what you would use if you wanted to do at Christmas time a candy cane, which are absolutely beautiful. And if you do 2 separate candy canes, one in red and one in white, you just intertwine them and use a pipe cleaner in the middle, wrap them, both of them around a pipe cleaner and intertwine them, and at the end you fold them over or bend them into place, and then you have yourself a little candy cane. Just add a nice little ribbon on the end of it and you can have it for your Christmas tree. Imagine talking about Christmas on March 17th. Okay, so now we have our worry worm arm right back up to the very top. Sorry, my wool's just after getting cut. Right back up to the very top. You can see it hasn't got its shape yet. So at this stage, that's the very last one I've just done. So at this stage, what I like to do is just twirl the worry worm in my hand and pull at the same time the top. See the way I have my hand like this? Pull from the top like that all the way down to the very end. It's just to give it a bit, you'll see in a minute now, it should spring back up into place and you have a nice curl on the end of it. So what I want you to do now is turn your worry worm to the back. You can pull the single thread that you had from before the yarn. So what I want you to do is from the back, just go up and insert your hook into any of the stitches at the back. Now make sure, you can see it there, make sure that it's not going to, well, with the green wool it won't actually make too much of a difference. So just bring it through, slip stitch, do your 2 chain. I always do a 2 chain. Get your scissors, cut your yarn enough that you're going to be able to sew it back in. Get your hook, pull the hook to bring it through your nail and pull it back. So when you do 2 chain, it holds it in place and it's not going to rip on you. Now what you need to do at this stage is the one that you had from, I'll just get rid of this one here, the wool that you had that was attached for the original magic ring, fold over your yarn, insert the yarn into the eye of the needle, and then follow the yarn around the way you had come before. Now make sure you're just wiggling it in between the stitches. You don't want to be able to see your needle on the far side. So you're going to do this a few times because, and you'll come back on your work as well, because you don't want it to unravel. So just go around, make sure to try and get it into place, pull it tight, and then you can come back on your work as well. Okay, don't be afraid to give it a good pull it securely. Okay, so now at this stage you can get your scissors, cut as close as you can to the bottom and get rid of that piece of yarn. You can turn it over. Now you can see the head of your worry worm, and you just twirl it after you're finished. With the last piece that you've done, you don't need to sew it as much as you did the last one because you already have secured it with your 2 chain. So like before, fold your yarn over and then it won't split on you. Insert it into the eye of your hook and then come back up the other way with this one. Now you just need to go in once or twice. You don't need to do you don't need to worry about doing an awful lot of it because it's, as I say, it's secure already. Hold your worry worm and cut it with your scissors. Now most of the time when I make a worry worm, which I have here, and these are the little eyes, at the back of it, it has a little piece of paper to hold it. Now an awful lot of the time when I'm using worry worms, especially if I'm making these for a smaller child, what I'll do is I'll get a toothpick. I'll have my glue gun and then I'll take a tiny piece of the glue, put it onto the top of the toothpick and smear it on the top of your googly eye. Then I hold it like this and then I can put it in place and pull it and it'll secure it really well to your worry worm. If you don't put the glue onto it, the eyes will come off, and that's the last thing you want, is for a little child to actually swallow one of the eyes. So like I said, you'd have your glue gun, you'd have your toothpick, put the toothpick, the glue onto your toothpick and then smear it onto the top. Hold the eye with your toothpick and then just place it onto this and pull the toothpick out. I've done it a lot of different ways. I found when I just put the glue onto the googly eye and put it on, there's strands of glue. Also sometimes when I've put the glue onto the actual yarn, the face of the worry worm, the glue can actually come out the back and it makes the top of your worry worm quite hard and it's not that nice to touch. So there's your green and your orange one for Paddy's Day, and I put them in St. Patrick's Day. So what I did was I put the white tail down so you could see the difference. So I hope you liked this tutorial. I hope you can hear it. I'd love you to share and subscribe to my channel, and until the next time I shall see you. I hope you have a lovely day. Bye.